Hello and welcome to How to Play In Between, presented by GatherTogetherGames.com. There are different variations to the card game In Between. This video will cover one of the ways for how to play In Between. The video will start with the general concepts and gameplay, and then get into more of the details for the game. The game is played with 2 or more players. To play, you will need a 52 card deck and something to make bets with, such as poker chips. Each player is given an equal amount of chips to start. A middle pot of chips is initially created by each player making an ante into the pot. For this game, the ante is 1 chip. The object of the game is to win chips. During gameplay, on a player's turn, 2 cards will be face up. The player will bet an amount of chips that the rank of the next card flipped will be in between the ranks of the 2 face-up cards. If the next card flipped is ranked between the 2 face-up cards, the player will win the amount bet out of the middle pot. If not, the player loses their bet to the middle pot. The cards are ranked with the aces being the highest down to the 2s being the lowest. Going back to the game that was set up earlier, each player has made their ante. One player will be the dealer. Player 1 is currently the dealer in this game. The player left of the dealer will have the first turn. The dealer will start the turn by flipping 2 cards face up. The player whose turn it is will make a bet on if the next card will be in between the 2 flipped up cards. Players must always bet 1 chip at minimum and can bet up to an amount equal to the chips in the middle pot at maximum. Player 2 bets 2 chips that the next card flipped is in between the 9 and 2. The next card of 7 is in between 9 and 2, and player 2 wins 2 chips from the pot. Play moves left to player 3. The dealer will flip over 2 new face-up cards. Player 3 bets 2 chips. The next card is not in between the Jack and 4. Player 3 loses their bet to the middle pot. Play moves to player 4 with 2 new face-up cards. The 5 and 6 cards flipped are in sequence. When the flipped up cards are in sequence, the current player loses the minimum bet of 1 chip. Player 4 pays 1 chip to the middle pot. A third card flip is not needed since it is impossible to win. Play moves to player 5. Player 5 bets 2 chips and loses. Play moves to the dealer, player 1. Player 1 bets 1 chip and loses. Once all players have had a turn, a round is over. Players will agree at the beginning of the game on how many rounds will be played. Once all the rounds are completed, the player with the most chips wins the game. If a player bets the entire pot amount and wins, each player will make an ante to refill the middle pot. If the 2 cards flipped up are the same rank, the player whose turn it is gets 2 chips from the pot and play moves to the next player. If the third card flipped is the same rank as one of the 2 cards flipped up, the player loses their bet. Before the game begins, players will decide how many rounds will be played between the cards getting reshuffled. Here, the second round has finished and the cards are getting reshuffled for rounds 3 and 4. That wraps up How to Play In Between. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and find more game tutorials by subscribing to the channel Gather Together Games. Thanks for watching.